and this is Columbus, Ohio MuleSoft meetup. And thank you, Naresh, for the introduction. We also have Ram. He just joined. Welcome, Ram. He's our leader too. So we've been conducting these meetups every month mostly, and Ram and Naresh are really good leaders. They've been keeping up to the mark on these presentations on meetups. So they have Ram especially have conducted 24 meetups in last 2 years. That means every month a meetup, right? So it's a really good organizational powers they have, and really keeping up to the speed with the technology and the latest updates on MuleSoft. And this is my third meetup in this year, 2022, one in Feb, one in June, and now. So today we'll be looking at the power of data view. And in this session, you will really see the power of data view uh, and few instructions before I start. So I see that some of these meetups, they have some lag during this session. Like when you are seeing my screen, sometimes it freezes and sometimes you may stop hearing me. Please feel free to join the chat and keep updating the chat. We have two leaders, Naresh and Ram, looking at this chat actively. So feel free to make it interactive and ask questions. They'll be looking at the chat actively, and I will also be. So let's jump right in. Before we start, just a reminder, as always, we are excited to share the latest news of innovations with you, which means we may talk about the future-looking products and services, and future-looking statements are inherently subject to risk and uncertainty. Please be reminded that you should make your purchasing or investment decisions based only on products that are currently and commercially available. So the agenda will be today will be documentation and developer tools, and then demo in and out, not exactly at the end. And we'll end up with some questions and answers. Sounds good? Let's continue. So if you see, whenever documentation topic comes in every organization, in every role, there is always this challenge of finding right assets in the right time. It could be for learning or research or for your reference. There's always a challenge. Let's look at how MuleSoft simplified this documentation, right? So if you see these four icons here, MuleSoft documentation is one place to look at, because I don't know about you, but when someone talks about MuleSoft documentation, first thing comes in my mind is Exchange. So it is one place shop for all the API needs, as you have guides for other languages. We also have a lot of all the supported guides like Exchange, Slack Overflow, and you can Google and just get answers wherever you find your answers for other languages as well, right? So let's look at Exchange here. So Exchange is on the top right. When you log into this Anypoint platform, you'll see all these options on the left side, right? In this options, you'll find Exchange. Exchange is like any exchange, money exchange or any exchange place, right? Where you find something what you're looking for, and also you can contribute, right? So here in Exchange, you'll see all the available assets. This is one place. And also not just the assets, when you go into that, you'll find a documentation about it. See here, there is a video on how to access this Salesforce connector in Mule 4, right? Not just video, and complete guide on how to get started, what all it supports, and a good reference for your entire knowledge. And you can also have these comments and rating down here. Based on that, also you can decide on what you want to do with. And there is also taxonomy implemented, so it's easy to find something in Exchange. You can just go to categories and tags, and it's a different topic again, which I don't want to go in. But Exchange is one of the best place to find something in relation with the MuleSoft APIs. And also we have this Stack Overflow. So if you go in this Stack Overflow, and then you can find most of the questions which developers face. And here you can use and search based on tag names. So if I have some question on data view, which is a language used in MuleSoft, so there are like 1673 questions, right? And they're all actually answered. So Stack Overflow is a very good place for you to ask questions and get answered, or if you have any FAQs as well. After that, we also have our blogs, like so whenever you need to find something in connection with MuleSoft and database, or MuleSoft with any other connectors or backend systems, external integrations. If you are looking for a blog, then you can come here. There are thousands of hundreds of blogs published on all these topics, actively reviewed and well maintained. So this is one good place again to look at some documentation. And then we have Stack Overflow, we just saw, and then training resources is a good place to go. So if you are new to MuleSoft and if you are looking for some training, you can go to this training.mulesoft.com here on the top. I'm showing the URL. And once you log in, right? Let me log in and show you how it looks. I'm using my credentials. You all can register for free and get and browse around, right? So you have this beautiful dashboard displayed here, which shows on what certifications we are going through and what certifications we are enrolled. And you'll see that options and also the courses available for you to take, right? So these are all the different courses which you can see. And this is the data view uh, course that you can get trained and specialized on, because right now we are discussing about the power of data view. So you can go here and find the region of your location and then the language, and then you can use this credits MTC or pay the money and get registered. And also there is self-paced training as well. So this is a place where you can get started if you're completely new, right? That is the training resources. And MuleSoft Labs, this MuleSoft Labs is a place. Let me show you GitHub. So GitHub has this MuleSoft Labs as a place where you have this open community where people do APIs or integrations for hobbies and um, for as a side projects, right? As per their interest, and you can also join them and use any of their developed resources for your ease of use. Instead of developing the entire wheel again, you can just reuse those APIs and assets that are available there. And then let's go back to our presentation. So MuleSoft training we just discussed, right? And then let's look into the developer tools, right? We have DataView Playground and the CLI and also the Anypoint Studio. As all the developers are generally aware of Anypoint Studio data view, right? Where you have the data view drag and drop component, and then you can go in and look at the code where you can develop, right? But let's look at the data view playground. Playground is something which is available online for all of you. So if you go into this dwlang.fun, simple website to remember, and it will take you to this Dataview playground. If on the left side where the input explorer is there is the place where you give the input, and on the center you have this space which is for scripting. So basically you write script here, and on the right side you see the results. So here for sample I have this message hello world in a JSON format, and right now I'm writing the script payload.message, which is taking this message and displaying this message here in a JSON format. If this is an XML, then that will display as an XML again. So here you can write, right, like this. And if you want to get trained in all the functions and modules of what this data view has, and you have questions on implementing how to implement array and array list maps, all this, you can still go here on the top tutorials. And in the tutorials, you have this table of contents. In the table of contents, you have all these available functions, arrays, objects, variables, anything, you name it, it's there, and you can get trained on it. And you can simply use the scripts and understand how data view works, and good explanation. Developers have put really good efforts on building this tool, which is really helpful. I generally come here most of the time when I used to develop code and data view scripts. So this is a very good place to look at and get trained. Fast-paced, self-learning tool. Right, let's go back into the data view playground. And that is what data view playground is. And there is one more way to spin up this data view playground on your local machine. If you run this on using Docker image on your local, and then Homebrew, use the Homebrew to get this DW library installed on your local, and then you can spin up the instance, and then you can use that URL to launch it over your website, and you'll get the same look as you are seeing in here. And then you can test, but just the URL will be running, the instance will be running on your local. In that way, you are assured that none of the traffic going out, and the security is maintained, and your program and the scripts you're testing is all within your local, right? It's a small topic that we can discuss if you're interested, and you can also Google, and you'll get a lot of resources on how to do that. But there is a way to do the CLI part of it. Naresh, do you have some more information on the CLI that you want to pinch in now?
So, yeah, hi everyone. So the command line interface for Dataweave is highly useful for querying, transformation, and filtering the data. Right? You don't need any IDE or any external tool. There is a GitHub repository to download this CLI, and you can try to provide an input JSON file or XML file, and you can have a transformation in the using commands, and you can see how it works, right? Most of the times it might be useful for developers to troubleshoot or quickly execute some database scripts, and how exactly it's working. Like in a big database script, if you want to implement a minor feature, right, minor transformation, then probably I feel this is a very good interface that is helpful. So I can ping the GitHub link in the chat for you guys to explore. Thanks, Jyoti.
Thank you, Naresh. Yeah, and then we have the studio. You're already familiar. And the new thing you might not know is you can use this data view not just in Playground, CLI, and Endpoint Studio. Now it's grown to an extent that you can use any of the Java supporting IDE. You can use Eclipse, IntelliJ, NetBeans, Visual Studio, Xcode, or any of the IDE which supports Java and Maven, you can still use DataView there. So if you're interested, I can, with the interest of time, maybe I'll quickly run through this small demo on how to build a data view, right, on your local. So I have this right now I'm using the Visual Studio. Is that, yeah, right here. So if you have IntelliJ or any other IDE, you can go to this install extensions, right? And also you can look for, among these extensions, you can look for data view, right? And once you see that, you can install that. But right now I've already installed this plugin to my Visual Studio and it's there running up. So once it's installed, to test this, you can generate data view modules, mappings, packages all together into one library, which can again be published to Exchange, a place to discover these assets. And once you have it in Exchange, now it's available globally. Now you can, or your org level, now you can use this library, data view library, in any of your projects. Let's look at that demo real quick. So once you have this plugin installed on your IDE, then you can go to your files and then um, you can pretty much create a new project, or just go to the view and then command palette right on top. So once you are in command palette, once you type the data view here, you'll see all these options. So let's go and create new library project as here on the top. And then once I click this, it will ask your organization ID. So right now I'm just putting in as org.mulesoft, and then artifact ID will be meetup demo, meetup DWL demo. Let's put data demo. Okay. And then snapshot, and then the project name. And then it will ask for the place where you want to save this project. So I'm right now going into my workspace and saving it there so that I remember, and then enter. Now, if you see here on the bottom, do you want to open this new project in a new window? Then yes, I click yes. And then so if you see here, a new window is opened, and here is my project, which is just created in few clicks, right? And here you see I have a sample project already created, which has hello world. And this is a basic data view module and a library which I just created. And this includes modules, mapping, and packages all together. So again, the basic supported version of JDK is 8, and the Maven is 3.6.3 version. So if you have this on your local, then you can pretty much have this created, right? Once you have this, can you test it? Yes, we can. So we go on the top right here and then click on this run preview. So this will spin up and launch this instance, and you see the output is here. So we got this JSON format, hello world, right? So once this is there, right, now we have this project data view module library created. Now we want to use it across different projects. How do we do that? How do we publish to Exchange? So once you have this, you go back to this pom.xml, and before we make some changes, make sure we get our org ID, group ID. So where do we find group ID? We find that in our Anypoint platform. Go to access management, uh, and log in, right? If you logged out, make sure you log in. And in the access management, select your org and then org ID, copy this and go back and paste this here. This Make sure you pay some attention here because you might end up looking at this video again, because these are crucial steps which are packed into this one single meetup. So you see this development of Dataweave module and also publishing over to the exchange, and also you will be looking at how to consume that. So this is really important topic, I feel, and you should all pay some attention here. And if you come down to the dependencies, or yeah, distribution management, and then just uncomment these two distributions here. As you see, I have not made any changes. I'm just editing the form.xml which came by default. And here you see this organization ID. So I'm just going to paste that organization ID even here, so that whenever I publish this assert, this will be deployed, published to Exchange in that organization. And save this. Once you have this, you are ready to deploy. But one more step is you should have the right settings.xml on your local in your .m2 folder. So if you see here, let me show you my .m2. So once you come to your username, I'm using Mac, and I have this M2 hidden. If it's hidden, then just Command Shift and dot. The hidden files will be shown. Command Shift and dot. And once you get into this M2, you have this settings.xml. So in the settings.xml, you have to paste in the username and password that you use to log in into your Anypoint platform. Once you have that, if you don't find the settings.xml, just Google it, sample MuleSoft settings.xml, and you'll get the basic script. Make sure you have some of the details like uh, plugin information. Let me. So you basically have the server tag, and inside that servers tag you have server. Inside the servers tag you have server. In the server you have ID, username, and password, and the plugin group. So here my plugin group is org.mule.tools. That pretty much it. Nothing else the settings.xml have. So once you have this, you are ready to publish to Exchange. And also make sure your ID is same. Exchange is in link with the settings.xml's ID. This is the way it calls, that is settings.xml understands where to deploy this asset. Once you have this all up and running, then you can go to terminal, new terminal. I got this terminal open here, and let's check if I got Maven installed on my local. So it says Maven command not found. If you find this same thing, you might be missing the Maven on your local. So to install Maven on your Mac, make sure you go and look at one of my YouTube video. You can search like download and install Maven in Mac in 2 minutes. Literally in 2 minutes, you can have Maven up and running. That's a really good video. I suggest you to watch if you don't have Maven on your Mac. Then once I have it, I just use source bash command bash profile. This is a command to load my settings into this Maven terminal. So now let's look at Maven version. I have it running, up and running, boom. So once you have this, I'm already inside this DWL demo, right? So what I want to do, I want to deploy, Maven deploy. And this will take some time. Load all the libraries onto your local, bundle it up, and create a jar file and push it over to the Exchange. So give it some time. Once it's completed, then let's go back to our exchange where we are trying to publish this asset and see if it got published there. So while this is happening, I want to just walk you through this program, right? So if I control click on this hello world, then I see there is a function defined back end in the DW folder in my modules.dwl. Here you see function hello world to display this small JSON script. So you can develop complex data views using this project, using this data view library or a module. So if you see down here, build is successful, which is happy path, and let's go to our exchange and look for the asset we just deployed. So I'm going back to my exchange here, and I see my DW demo is there 27 seconds ago. That's how once you have it here in the exchange, now it's globally available. Now let's go back to my MuleSoft project, okay? I have this small application here, which is just calling a REST endpoint, which is up and running on my Anypoint platform. It's just a flights API. Maybe you're familiar. So what this does is, I'll show you um, just a simple API. It gives the details of flights and like all these flights details, nothing much. So this API call is being done here. And how do I get that published asset over here, right? So when you click this dependency snippet on the here on the top right, so if I click this dependency snippet, I find this um, Maven dependency. So I close that, go to my pom.xml here, and then at the dependency section here, I'll just paste this new dependency I have. Make sure you format it for not making any mistakes. So here I'm deploying and then I pasted the dependency basically and then format. So this is my new dependency which I got it from the exchange. Now I save this. Once I save this, back here in the project libraries, I see that my meetup DWL demo is been loaded to the project. Now, once it's loaded, how do I use this hello world, right? That is the whole point of doing this data view exercise. So you can basically just drag and drop the mule transformer. And once you have this transformer, you can go back to your Visual Studio and then you can go to that main file, this mymapping.dw, copy this old script and then come back here and then paste it. See, this is importing that library asset. So how do I test it? Okay, so right now let me run this application just to show you the difference. Right now I'm not calling this subflow down here. So this is just purely calling this API and giving me a result, right? That's the intention of it. And then we'll put this transform message to see what output it gives. I'm not having any hello world JSON written here, right? It's just a function call. This function call is from the import of hello world module, which is from this library. Hope it's all making sense to you. I'm continuing to test this API, which will be deployed locally in few minutes. Once it's deployed, I get this deployed message. Awesome. Go to my Postman. I'm using Postman for testing. You can use any of your favorite tool. And then once I send this message, I got this flight's response, right? which is good. Now I stop, and then I have this hello world. So I pull it back here. So basically, my expectation is to get this hello world as a response rather than getting that flight details. So I made this change, redeploying my application on my local, and then we'll trigger this same flow. In the meanwhile, I would like to show you how to also make transformation mapping, right? So this is a so this data view have this intelligence called data sense behind the scenes, which will load this metadata. So data, what is metadata? Metadata is the data about the data. It means that what kind of data is this? Is this the number, string, object? So it has that data sense intelligence working behind to pull up the data metadata from any connector which is before that. So right now I have the RESTful connector, so it has that intelligence to pull up there are three fields attributes coming over from that REST call, and they are of number format data type, and string data type, and object data type. And once you have them, you can also clear metadata and define metadata. So in the meanwhile, this is deployed. Let's go back to our Postman. And now our expected response is hello world. See? And I haven't put any JSON here. It's just purely calling the function from the backend. In this way, you can deploy your data view assets to your exchange and then reuse across all the APIs in the form of dependencies. This is very important as you grow as an organization and start good business with MuleSoft. As you keep growing your business with MuleSoft and implement more transformations, you will end up using this complex data view projects and in a simplified and easy way of implementation. And also you can also define metadata. Let's come back here and define metadata and add a type. Just name a type. Here I'm naming it as a sample JSON. And once I have it, I'm just loading a JSON file which was locally created. So this JSON file has a structure I'm willing to have, and then I'll select that. So basically that will bring in like this all the fields. So you'll just now my work. So if you see, my work is very smooth now. If I am getting some fields in XML or JSON, I have to write in a different format, and all I do is just drag and drop to this, and this will generate the script. See, it just generated the script, and the string, right? I drag and drop, and it generated the script. So this is the way you do mapping. Very easy, very intelligent way, and fast, UI based, and less chances of making mistakes, and less coding, very less coding. And it takes few minutes to do the mapping and transformation than writing complex and lines and thousands of lines of code like in any other language. So this is one thing I would like to show you, and that's over now. Let's continue back to our presentation. And yeah, so we started our journey with the data mapper back in 2012. The language has its origins in data mapper, a studio mapping UI built on top of third-party engine. However, this engine was not scaling well for integrations and special use cases. So that got evolved into DataView 1.0 in 2015. The team has tasked with building an engine of our own so that transformation could scale in performance as well as complexity. The DataView language was born, and the team separated the studio to focus on optimizing its runtime rather than just the UI. So as you see in the screenshot, that's the new DataView 1.0 in 2015. And then with the Mule 4, we come up with the new DataView version 2.0. This is very powerful. With the language gaining popularity and resulting in a versatile tool, it was fully embedded into the Mule4 as both the expression and transformation language. DataView is now used in every application deployed in transformations, connector configurations, component parameters, and everywhere as a dynamic expression is needed, as a wherever there is a dynamic expression needed. The team aligns under Mule leadership to streamline the alignment between the two engines. The Studio UI becomes neglected, and users complain saying that data view is like a Ferrari engine in a car with no doors, right? So, and then in 2019, we evolved this language, and it's grown from 2.0 and was inspired and challenged by a new user use case, leveraging our easy data querying capabilities to define assertions against API responses. This powers our API monitoring capabilities today. So if you see, let's dive into this real quick. So if I go back to this endpoint platform and into the API monitoring, and if I want to write my own new functional monitoring, then I click on this functional monitoring and then create a monitor. And then in the step 2, you name the monitor name and then select the location and the monitor schedule. Once you do all these basic steps, you'll get to this select endpoints. So here, if I go to this switch to code editor mode, once I click that editor mode, here you see what language? Data view. So it's evolving. Uh, the power of API monitoring capabilities, the data view is came up to the point of API monitoring, writing script there as well, the same data view. That's what I wanted to say. And if you are observing from the past slides, if you see the bottom little green uh, circle image here, it was a plain ground, and then in 2015 we got some trees, and 2018 some mountains. It's evolving. That's what I put there, some images just to show an example, right? And then API monitoring, we just discussed, and now Apex in 2020. Following the Salesforce acquisition, and as architecture discussions are held among the teams on both sides, the Apex management team starts embedding the data view and plans a pilot to improve their data handling capabilities. Salesforce objects can now be easily transformed to JSON or XML in a uh, performant and consistent way. DataView crosses the MuleSoft boundaries and begins exploring Visual Studio Code we just saw to match Salesforce tooling. The Studio UI is improved through collaboration, and the teams agree that DataView will take ownership of the experience in the next IDE, considered a platform where all teams can own their build, right? And now in 2021, with the API gateway capabilities now independent from Mule's, DataView remains the expression language for policy configurations. DataView crosses the JVM boundaries, and planning begins for full native execution to support transformation policies across the integration boundaries as well. And lastly, just in this March 2022, DataView became a first-class citizen of our platform. We released a beta of a Visual Studio extension, which we just saw, and it crossed the beta phase. Now it's always available as a full-grown plugin, allowing the designing, testing, and troubleshooting of the libraries. This experience becomes the cornerstone of the Anypoint Code Builder experience from the data view. As we just saw, we publish it over to the Exchange, and data view code now be reused across all applications. So what's next? Our path so far has taken us across any point and beyond. So what's next for us, right? Well, we are glad to announce that the future of DataView is open. We will be embarking on our most significant adventure yet and start the journey towards the open source. Why? Let's think about MuleSoft goal for a compressible enterprise and application networks where all of our APIs are discoverable and we can monitor them, empowering everyone to go faster. If you take a closer look, the truth is there is actually data moving between these connectors, right? With different sizes and context. And even if at the wire level, it may be 0 seconds and 1 second. This data is likely quite structured more often than not. It will be JSONs, right? Let's think about MuleSoft goal for a compressible enterprise and application networks where all our APIs are discovered and can be monitoring them. Empowering everyone to go faster. If we take I mean, okay, I think there is a lag here. Yeah, as this keep going, but yeah, but uh, the network we'll find more in this network. So eventually, if you see there are different formats like XMLs for web and web services and comma separated values for large data for legacy systems, or maybe YAMLs for some modern stuff, right? And and this is where data view comes in. The language was designed to allow different services to talk to one another efficiently. However, it really isn't more important than these are mule servers because you can run even if they are not mule servers. The goal is that it would do the mapping and transformations. It will be a common point where different languages can talk. You could have any other service there and this would still hold because this is just the internet. A bunch of computers connect to one another and exchanging data. So we believe data view can be crucial asset to all developers in their everyday lives navigating this complexity. And we believe data view has the potential to become the standard for data transformation. Unlike other tools, DataView provides one model to rule all formats and forget the serialization details. As a developer, you just need to focus on your logic, learn DataView, and you can handle any data requirements now and in future. No need to research, learn, or troubleshoot the specific XML libraries or JavaScripts or Python, not the particular details of XML, in fact. Should a new format gain popularity, all we need to do is add this reader and writer to data view, and all script logics would still remain the same. And unlike other tools, it is a proper language with robust tooling around it. And it's not just your command line, it's for productions too, right? You can design, test, build, and distribute and troubleshoot your code in a simple way. To sum up, we want to extend data view to a larger community to evaluate whether it can be the standard for data transformation and take advantage of the fact that data is at the center of every conversation. While acknowledging the robust tool DataView has grown into, but most importantly, we want to open DataView because we want to engage with you and with broader communities. We believe that DataView can only grow further with more options, more experts, and more ideas on the table. And how do we do that, right? Soon we'll land, I think we already launched this DataView site. So if you go on the top here, dataview.mulesoft.com, as you see the screenshot here, this is just from this place. So This is the place to land if you have any transformations, right? You can learn and try. And you have this basic, some of the basic questions and answers like why data view, learn about the data view can help you with different use cases. You have the queries, maps, transforms, reformats, and open the example in playground. This will take you to the playground again, as we saw, and learn the fundamentals, execute in any terminal, develop in the VS Code, as we just saw. If you want to explore more in CLI, you can go into this, go to CLI and follow this instructions. And if you just want to learn about the functions and different operations that you can use on data view, then you can go to this tutorial, fundamental tutorial. And the easy way to join us is Slack Overflow, Slack, and then the GitHub. And you'll see all the new features and all the news, blogs, tutorials, release notes, white papers on the data view, all at this one place. So it will point all our resources on how to learn, try, and execute data view today, as well as to our community resources. So this is where we engage. If you are on Slack, you can just go to dataviewlanguage.slack.com and we can all land in a place where we can communicate together on any issues or topics. And we have seen the MuleSoft labs, right? That's the place for your reference. We'll continue to answer the questions on Slack Overflow and encourage everyone to participate in the community to build knowledge across this language. We will invite everyone interested in the language to join our hands, our band, new Slack workshop, where the teams behind DataView will also engage with our community. Lastly, we will point everyone interested to discuss the evolution and growth of the language to our open RFC repository, where the communities will be able to engage with our team and leadership to shape the future of DataView. So before we, yeah, let's discuss about if you have any questions, please free feel to send in the chat. On the right side, you have this 4 icons: help, room, attendees, and chat. So if you go into the chat, you can type your questions at the bottom. If you have no questions, then we'll jump into the quiz, since we have 5 minutes left.
Again, there are two questions. What is the Datawave contribution to Flex Gateway? Also, please tell again, what is Apex?
Okay. Ram, are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah. Ram, do you want to take these questions?
So Apex is the coding that Salesforce suite uses, Salesforce platform uses. So it's not MuleSoft language at all. It is no the programming language that you use as a Salesforce developer to map the data when you do integrations with even the workflows, everything. Like Apex is a coding that's used in Salesforce platform.
Yeah.
What was the other question?
The other question is on the. I don't see these questions in the chat at all. Where do you see them, Naresh?
In the general section, so the other question is, what is the Datawave contribution to Flex Gateway?
Oh, I see. Yeah, FlexGate.
Yeah, I think it's probably that we can use Datawave language when you're configuring the Flex Gateway. That's how it is related, I guess. Mule 3.2, it's Datawave Mule 4.
Yeah, DataView
Again,
2. In the Mule
2.0.
4, yeah, 2.0 is the biggest change.
Yeah. So there is
And
a run.
uh,
Okay.
there is no
So
Mule expression language in Mule 4 anymore.
yeah.
So everything is all the functions that Mule expression language had, they're obsolete. Like they're not in Mule 4. Everything is Dataweave right now, and Dataweave has powerful functions in Mule 4. New and improved Dataweave functions. It has more out of the box features. You don't need to embed Java code or no Groovy script or Python or anything like that in your mapping or transformations anymore. You can make use of the out of the box Dataweave functions and features to do your to solve your problems.
Yeah. Can we alter the script after importing a library from Exchange? Probably not.
That I haven't looked into that because library will be a jar file, and I don't think you can do that with any library, right? Once you have the library, you pretty much call that predefined functions and classes, right?
I, I
But
can answer this, right? So basically, it's also Maven library. Probably you can increase the version of the library and publish again to Exchange, and you have to use the updated version in your the API when you want to consume that library, so that latest version can be reflected. Probably that's how you maintain the version control on these. Like, cool.
great, great. Okay,
Yeah, I think
let's
no other
time for
questions.
quiz.
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. Um, so let's jump into quiz, guys. So if you see my screen, you see the QR code, right? So open your mobiles or tablets and scan that QR code. In that way, that will take you directly to this questionnaire, and you can see and answer questions and answers directly from that screen in a browser. So this is secure. Do not worry. I'm not scamming any of you. You can um, trust me on this and go to this uh, QR code. Open your cameras and um, scan this QR code, and I'll see you guys here. So once you join, you can click any of these buttons, which is a heart symbol, thumbs up, and a evil emoji. I see. Yeah, I see people joining. Really good. Nice looking smileys. Excellent. So we have 33 participants in total. So if anybody is facing issues, you can manually go to www.menti.com, menti.com, and there you can see a place where you can enter the code, and the code is 21982345. Once you punch in that code, that will bring up back to this small playground that we are already ready to participate. Yeah, I see a lot of what do you call the motivation, game motivation. That's nice. So, Thakur, what are you not getting? Kalyani, I'll get back to you on that
I think
Dataweave.
initially they're trying to select one of the symbol. Uh,
Oh, okay. Yeah, just hold on to the screen. You're good, and then we'll slide over slowly. Once everybody, yeah, I think we got pretty good participants, right? We got 30, 26, and then,
so
yeah,
this
I
seems
think
like
we
a
are
new
ready to start.
screen, right? So
Yeah.
do they get the next in the next screen they get asking name and code?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Uh,
So let's go. Oops. Let me
Clear the
get
cache.
back. Yeah. One moment, guys.
If you can,
Hang on, hang on, hang on to that. Yeah.
If you want, you can change the sequence of the answer or the sequence of the question itself.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. Cool. Yeah. So
So it seems no one is getting the name to enter. Probably
now,
directly
now
from.
you should now you should find it.
Okay.
So I see all this nice emojis
This is
turning
right
in.
screen now. Cool.
Yeah, sometimes yeah, hiccups happen. Okay, awesome. So how many do we have now? Oh, yeah, join the
29.
playground.
Nice. Almost all joined.
30. Yeah, awesome.
32. 31.
31. Excellent job, guys. I got very nice questions. These questions will not disappoint you, and make sure you answer fast so that you will be the winner. We have 5 questions. Just for your information, we got 32 players. Let's jump in right now. So the countdown starts. To define a function that returns a number, which of this is the right format? I know it's a tricky question because only developers will be more familiar to answer this, and we got 7 correct answers. Really good. I know the first option is little tricky. You got the function name, and then in the parentheses you have the variable name and the number, right? But you can define that number outside, and then yeah, that's a way to do that. You don't have to be, it doesn't have to be inside, it can be outside.
And one thing that I would like to highlight here in Mule 4, even though the syntax is slightly different between 3 and 4, you have auto completion to help the developers. You don't need to remember the syntax, and nobody remembers all the syntaxes, know all the rules to write the Dataweave code. It's just cumbersome. You can Google it up, or know even the completion, the tool that's built in will help you, know completing the syntax. So don't worry if you do not know something in Dataweave. It's not difficult.
Yeah, don't worry about this question if you haven't made it, because this is the toughest question so far and you passed it. Now you can expect easy questions. And here is the leaderboard. Anusha is first. Great job. Oops, why is this one moment, guys.
That's correct, right? You can just click on next.
Do you see next question?
No, you're not sharing it.
Normally on your screens, on your mobile.
Mm, I'm not logged in. No.
Oh, okay.
People are answering no.
Okay, one moment. Just give me one moment. Just resetting the results, because for testing purpose, I have taken this test prior to this meeting. So please excuse me on that. Okay.
There's a clear results on the top of
I
the
got
section.
it.
You can just do it.
Yeah. Question 2. On your mask, get set, go. What is happening? One moment. So normal Naresh, we go to the manage results and then we reset the results for this presentation, right?
Mm-hmm. Second question, for every question, just check the leaderboard. Is there or not? You can remove the first question and restart with 4 questions so that it's fresh if you are not able to continue. And also leaderboard.
Yeah, you will lose the stats actually. If you remove,
Yeah.
you will lose the stats. Um, I think we have to go with the first question is out now, so we have to go with the remaining 4 questions. Anyway, that was a tough one. So connect the quiz only with 4 remaining questions, and then identify the new winner. I would say.
Yes. Yeah. Because you can't continue with the existing, so that's probably best idea.
Yeah,
And
I'm
make
very
sure you
sorry.
clear the results.
Yeah, I try. I think I did. I did a lot of clearing results, but I don't know why Minty is little complex today.
Yeah, we
Anyways,
are restarting the quiz, all of you. Like this is for attendees. As you understand, there is some glitch in the tool, so we are restarting. So those who haven't answered the first question, you are lucky to have one more up. Now we have only 4 questions, and
yeah,
whoever
four
answers,
easy questions.
yeah,
Actually, three. Fourth one is like, yeah, you just get it. See, just to start countdown. Okay. Data view is a what? Object-oriented programming, functional programming language, both object-oriented and functional programming language, none of the above. You got 5 more seconds. Excellent. Great job. Data view is a functional programming language. And Sandeep is in the new leaderboard. And second question, are you guys ready? Start. Latest data view version is which one? We just discussed. 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, or 4.0. Easy peasy. I think we get 30 right answers now. 25. Okay. DataView 2.0 is the latest version. We have not evolved to 3 or 4 yet. We are still working on 2.1, 2.2, 2.3 versions. Right now, I think it's on 2.4. But we'll just that all those libraries will still fall under 2.0 itself. So 2.0 is the latest version. And here is the
Sandeep,
leaderboard.
Sandeep, Jayant, and Conrad.
Yeah, great job. Okay, the third question. This is important for you to gain the vouchers. A data view module can be built using Visual Studio, Anypoint Studio, Eclipse Studio, any IDE that supports Java Maven projects. Awesome. 18 questions, 18 right answers. Great job. This makes me feel happy that you have paid attention to this session. Sandeep is still leading. And here is the last question, and you can just relax with this question. This is just for our feedback. So, how did you feel about this meetup? Boring, very good, not bad, need to improve. Please let us know, and this will help us. And this feedback will help us in improving and making the meetup better. Wow, that's good. Thank you so much. And I see, yeah, two people are encouraging and wanted to make it more um, interactive and interesting, right? We'll definitely improve. Thank you so much for your feedback. And today's final leaderboard, the top three winners are, um, I'm sorry if I pronounce
Conrad,
wrong,
Sandeep,
Conrad,
Casper.
Sandeep, and
Please
Casper.
drop your emails in the chat so that we can request vouchers for you.
Okay, I got your email, Conrad. Great job, guys. Thank you so much for your joining this session in the holiday season and in your lunchtime, or if you are joining from somewhere remote, then yeah, really appreciate
Casper,
it.
I don't see email from Casper. If you don't get the email, the next in the line will get a voucher.
Hey, he did mention the email. Casper has the email.
Okay. Yeah, I think there is some delay. Okay, I got it.
Okay, awesome. And thank you so much, Jyoti Kiran and Naresh, and all the folks who joined. Thank you very much for encouraging us, and also happy holidays. We'll probably see you back in December. If not, then beginning of next year.
Thank you all. Thank you, Naresh, Ram.
Thank you. Let me
Yeah, there is
copy
a
this.
comment from Murli Krishna. We can read out for others. Believe Apex engine is enhanced to data view execution faster. Mule team nothing to do with Apex unless we are in Salesforce. Very nice session, Mule team. Okay, awesome. Thanks. Thank you for that. And if there is any interest in any other product features or new product suite, please let us know what topics you want to hear about. And also, if you would like to present in one of the meetups, do let us know. So most likely next meetup we're going to talk about Cloud Up 2.0 architecture and then best practices. If not in December, it will be in January. I'm just working through the holidays, making sure the community can join. If we cannot conduct this in December, then we'll definitely have it in the first 2 weeks of January.